Welcome to BFS Wargaming. We're here for another video. So today we're going to be talking to Andy, who is the owner of Mad Gaming Terrain and the designer. So we're going to be talking about the Mad Gaming Terrain range, and also we're going to be talking about how it started. So we'll start there because I think it's probably the best place too, at the start. So how did you get started? How did you come up with the idea for Mad Gaming Terrain?
I think it starts quite a few years ago. I think I've got a gaming club, and I noticed that it costs a lot of money to produce, obviously to build and kit up a gaming board. It's quite expensive when you're running 12, 13 boards. I did design at college. I love designing. I love all the drawing aspects, and I just naturally then fell into this kind of, I can surely design something better. And that's when I came up with the Hablock, which is supposed to be modular, supposed to be simple, supposed to suit a lot of needs, a lot of gaming systems, and I just wanted to then develop something that would sit and suit a lot of the gaming styles and the gaming boards that we've got in the club. That's essentially where it started.
So I know from some of the team at BFS Wargaming, Andrew, Alex and John, they all bought into a Kickstarter, because that's how you first got started, I believe, with it. So how did that sort of go, and how did that come about?
I think Kickstarters were quite new at the time, and again, they got mentioned by quite a few people. So I did look into it originally. Because when you have an idea and you're a small business, it's really hard to get started. It is very difficult. Banks don't want to lend you money and things like that. You've got to have something sustainable, which defeats the object, obviously, from a new business. So the Kickstarter platform is a brilliant place to do that. It has its flaws, which I certainly found out about. But yeah, we started off. I had a design that I developed quite quickly that I liked. The Kickstarter format worked really well, so I took the opportunity to design something for that and put it on. Then we came up with our first Kickstarter, which went down quite well. Whilst we're on the subject, like I spoke before in a previous take, I had to say thank you to the people, obviously the people who supported the first Kickstarter, because without the first Kickstarter we wouldn't have been able to do a second one. But the second one bit us quite hard. It was very successful. We were only small and we weren't ready for the size of the Kickstarter and how well we did. So initially we let quite a lot of our backers down in regards to timing. We couldn't produce the stuff quick enough for them. We'd done a Kickstarter with lots and lots of add-ons, so a lot of learning curves, but the guys were really patient. There was a lot of support in the community for it. Most people understood, and it was great. And you know, everybody now has it. The Kickstarter's all done and dusted. I think we've got one item that we have to design and send out to a few people, but other than that, we did get it all done and dusted. And again, the support that was out there was brilliant, and just want to say thank you for the guys for being patient, especially on the second Kickstarter, which was a big learning curve, because you don't expect it. You plan to do all right, because obviously that's what you want, but when it goes bigger than what you've planned, you then have to rework everything because of the scale. Yeah,
and I think, like, you know, that happens, doesn't it, at the beginning when you're starting any business. It's learning curves, things you don't expect, unforeseen things, and obviously it's great that the guys were patient and you know, and supported it. And you know, that is, I suppose, a bit of a risk sometimes with getting involved in any new business and Kickstarters. And I think Kickstarters are great because I think it really has given a lot of businesses and a lot of ideas out there the support to be actually come to life, you know, because without these Kickstarters and stuff, they may never have ever come to fruition, and people wouldn't have these things.
Yeah.
So I do think it's a really good thing.
It's definitely helped out the hobby. I think everybody's benefit from, gamers benefit from it, people with great ideas benefit from it. So the hobby's been able to grow as a result of it, and I think we see a very successful hobby. And I know in the gaming industry, especially tabletop, it's definitely a lot bigger because of Kickstarters.
Yeah, agreed. So we'll go on to talk about some of the themes. So obviously you started off with the Hablock. We've talked about the Hablock. I may flash some images up every now and again when I mention things like Hablocks and complex and stuff. No, because we haven't got we haven't got a green screen. But there is. We can see Hablocks up here on the shelf. There's some ruined hab blocks and some full hab blocks. So also you have the complex theme, which is become pretty massive, really, from when it started. When the first time I saw the complex theme, it was this thing, and now it's just grown and grown and grown, and now you can do so many things with just the complex theme. It's pretty cool. So how did you come up with the complex theme?
I think first of all, we're trying to structure it through themes, which hopefully we'll talk about later on, just so we don't deviate. But the complex theme was basically where within the club people have said, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. So we listened to a lot of our members and things like that, and they said, oh, you need to design something for Necromunda, because Necromunda has a good 2D system. And I thought, I didn't really want to do it. I had too much going with the hab block, so I put it off and put it off and put it off. I eventually then gave in, and then I decided to produce something for Necromunda that was very similar to a lot of things that are out there. So the sizes and all of that, and again, it had to fill out the same sort of brief as the hab block. So it had to be simple, easy to build. It had to be modular, and I think when I then designed it, I designed it to fit, and it happened really well. What was really, really good is the sizes for the complex kind of matched in with the sizes of the hab block. So it really...
That's what I was going to say. One of the biggest things that I obviously liked, you had the hab block and that, and then you then brought out the complex, and it fits together. You know, you can use the hab block with the complex in loads of different ways. And it's really something that made me love Mad Gaming Terrain, because it was this thing, like this modular system, and the fact that you can magnetize it, and also you've got the unique hull system which you can also use to bring it together, so you don't have to have magnets and stuff like that. I just thought it was really, really good. So you started off with the complex theme, and now you've added to it with you got some ruined complex walls. You can now make double height walls with buttresses, and you have got a new addition to it, haven't you?
Yes, yeah. I think the key thing with both the hab block and the complex is it's got to be modular and flexible. So when we design for the hab block and the complex, so they're both the same kind of briefs, the whole network system fits into it, like you mentioned. And the magnets are exactly the same. So the magnet system that works in the complex also works across with the hab blocks and the walkways as well. So the idea is you can integrate it all. But the complex is taken off its own, is in its own direction, really. I think every time I design and build the next part and then set it up as it's supposed to be, I just get a whole load of new ideas to come out, which has then evolved it to, like you said, where we can almost now construct these great big grand palaces, and we've got all of this double height stuff that's, you know, due out, and a load of, you know, so it is definitely.
I mean, you literally, with this complex, like, for me, it started off as, I was looking at it as like this, you know, it could be the interior of a ship or a complex or an underground bunker, something like that. It's like these little, you have these little tunnels and rooms and stuff like that. And then you sort of see that you could actually make, you know, you could take this to double height. You've got these buttresses that go with it, bring it all in. You've got, you can make these into city walls. You can make them into compounds with things inside, and then you've got the new edition coming out, which is the bunker.
Yes.
Which is made up from complex walls.
Yes.
And then obviously you've got the addition of the roofs. You've got some slightly different walls, some doors, and things like that. And obviously you've got the doors with the complex as well, which are added in. So yeah, it's just, it started off as this quite simple range of walls, really, and it's just, the things you can create from it is brilliant, I think. So also going back to the hab blocks, you had the hab blocks out for quite some time, and then you recently brought out ruined hab blocks.
Yes.
Which was basically just, was that just an evolution for you? Had you already thought about that?
I think it's about the themes. So we've got a list of themes now that we work towards. So what we want to do is bring in the complex and the hab blocks into the themes. So the ruined hab blocks is part of the Battleground theme, which you'll see us develop on. So it just adds more. We basically want to create something for everybody. So when you invest in our products, whether it's the complex or the Hablocks, actually the products will then suit you for, you know, if you wanted to grow that from Infinity, say for instance, where you've got, you know, full Hablocks up, and then you wanted to create something for 40k, you're just sticking some ruined Hablocks in there, maybe custom together a little bit more, and, you know, hey presto, you're not spending lots and lots of money creating a new board. So the ruins is just part and parcel of that.
Yeah, and I love the way as well you can use the full Hablocks with the ruins. You can put them together so you can make it look like this building that's part ruined, part still full, you know, and you very rarely get that with, I think, a lot of terrain out there. Usually you've either got a ruined piece of terrain or a full piece of terrain, whereas you can then create half ruin, half, or you could have like a battle mat, which is, you know, loads of these full Hablocks, and then half of it's ruined Hablocks where that's sort of been in, you know, bombed or whatever else, and it's all exactly the same terrain. I just think that's the things you can do with the terrain is, and the things you can create is what I love about it. And the fact is, I think you once said it's a bit like Lego. You can sort of just build it and take it down and then rebuild it in a different way. And definitely. I think that's what the magic behind Mad Gaming Terrain is the fact that you can use exactly the same building blocks and then create something completely different.
Yes.
And I think that's for me is the reason why I really got into it and really sort of loved it. And then should we go into the talk about the kits that you've got out to so not only have you got these things, you've actually got accessory kits to make things look a certain way depending on what theme you're going for.
Yes.
So what kits have you got out?
I think that was more to do with, again, evolving the product. So, you know, a lot of people play 40k, so the complex stuff is great. If you want Necromunda and you want to play 40k, you can get the industrial look. So you just get the industrial add-on and you'll add that and you can change the whole look and appearance. And that industrial theme follows right way through from the complex all the way to the Hablocks. So it's the same sort of scene. So it's all about just blending it all in and making, so we have, and the key themes that we work around is the Gothic theme. So we make everything look a little bit more Gothic, so a bit more, you know, dark future kind of Gothic. And we do that with Hablocks and we do it with the complex as well. So again, you can blend them too. We've got the industrial ones, which gives you a more post-apocalyptic look. It's quite good if you want to create like a ship or an underground base. It's a bit more generic, you know, and it suits a lot more of them more smaller skirmish games.
Yeah.
And then we're introducing, well, we'll be introducing shortly at some point this year a sci-fi theme. So again, we can evolve that same complex to then actually be the inside of a futuristic spaceship, or you put the Gothic stuff on it and you can have a great big Gothic ship in Space Hulk or anything like that. So it's about having the bits to make your standard generic complex the way that you want it to be.
Yeah, and I think obviously you know, Mad Gaming Terrain comes unpainted, and obviously you build it and then you can paint it how you want it. So you could either make, you know, you could get a complex and have this complex completely different colour to what you have your Hablocks, or you can make it so that it is similar colour, similar theme, it goes through. But I just think that, you know, with the accessory kits, like I've got the industrial kit for my complex, and it is, like you say, it's quite a generic sort of feel, but it's just being able to give it that sort of character. Because all of your kits do come with accessories anyway.
Yes.
Like the
basic detailing.
Yeah,
kit.
the basic detailing kit. That's it.
Yeah,
that's the word I was looking for. So yeah, it comes with a basic detailing kit, and then you've got these on top, and there's just so many different ways. You know, you can't really have instructions on how to do. You know, you can to a point, but there's no way you'd be able to have instructions on all of the things you could do. Because there's so many things you can do, even with the bits that you think, oh, yeah, I don't need that, I can throw that away. There's so many things you can do with those bits to then add character to the complex, to the Hablocks and things like that. So even the bits you think, oh, that's just a bit you can throw away, you can throw away, But you could actually think, oh, hang on, I can glue that on here, I can fit this in here. It slots into this, into one of the detailing kits or something like that. And you can end up making some really individualized looking hab blocks, completely different to what anyone else has got.
Yeah, you get an MDF bits box. That's what you get, like old school bits box. Lots and lots of parts that are worth keeping hold of, because the whole network system is a set of holes that are all the same distance apart and things like that. So they're the same on my complex as they are on the hab block. So actually, some of the bits that you get for the complex can transfer over to the hab block. So you can add all of this detailing right the way across the board. So a lot of people do end up having these big bits box just full of spare parts.
So I think what we'll do is we'll end it on the last thing we'll talk about is the future, as I think that should be probably the last thing we talk about. Obviously, nice. Andy might not want to give away too much, but what have you got theme-wise and things like that? What have you got planned for the future, or have you got anything in mind? I'm not saying, I don't want you to put a time cap on anything. Yeah. I don't want to put you under pressure. But is there, you know, it could be next year, it could be 5 years time, like on terms of
5 years.
in terms of themes and stuff. What do you feel is you've got coming?
I've got a list of stuff, so I'm constantly thinking of ideas. When I build something, we've got more ideas, so you'll see stuff come out in like little phases. So we've got a big phase coming out very shortly, depending on when this video comes out, where we've got vent kits, we've got drop down doors, we got bunker slits. There's a whole load of new products. So for the complex range, I think we're sitting on probably 60 product range, 60 items at the minute. So the complex has still got quite a lot more stuff to add. So we've got a lot more to look forward to for the complex, included a load of sci-fi stuff, a lot more gothic stuff, bigger arches, bigger double height stuff as well. So you can make these proper city walls, have proper, you know, these great big perimeters. I don't know, have you seen Judge Dredd, the old blockbuster one, when you get the spaceship that flies into the wall? That is something that you'll be able to create, and that sort of stuff will be out shortly. So you'll start seeing some bigger stuff come out for the complex range. Like I said earlier on, we've got the sci-fi stuff coming out. We've got a lot more items for the complex that's due out this year and next year. I've got a list of stuff that's more than a year's worth of work for me to do. The hab block will also take a few more steps as well. We've got a few ideas for the hab block which are going to be quite nice to see. And then after we've got these core products, so you'll see these core products start coming into both the complex and the hab blocks range, but keep an eye out for our themes. So at the minute we have a complex theme and we have the town theme, which is very small at the minute, but you'll start seeing us work on themes. So the future for us, I think, is about developing themes. So if you sit there, I want a battlefield, then you'll be able to go to the battlefield theme, and then everything that's related to Mad Gaming products will be under the battlefield theme. So the idea is to
such as the ruins, and that will be in that theme.
Yeah, the idea is to work on themes, because our product has so many uses that if I put them all under as individual parts, it's quite complicated, because like you said, it's a bit like Lego.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes people want to create a theme. So if we create the themes, then it might be easier for people to choose the products through the themes, because again, they all interact. So you'll probably see one of the biggest themes that we're going to launch, which will be next year, will be the factory theme.
Yes, I'm looking towards that. I've seen some previews of the factory, but I usually see a little bit early, and then I come back and Andy goes, oh, we've done this and it's completely like got massive, and then I'm like, whoa. And yeah, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing the factory theme.
I think that'll be the biggest kind of, that'll be our first proper launch of a new theme. So at the minute you're seeing a development of the complex, which is a massive theme. It's huge and it's getting bigger all the time. So that's just us adding parts, adding new parts to make it bigger, so you can create big cities and stuff like that. Whereas the theme will be the first kind of brand new theme, plonk, a big part of it. Yeah, we'll still add to that theme, because we'll always keep adding.
I think you're always going to add to all of the themes, because I think the way Andy's brain works is he sees something and he thinks, oh, I could see that working, and then he goes away and he designs something. It's a bit like I'm not sure I'm allowed to say this, but he's recently designed some 45 degree. Is it 45 degree walls? Yeah, so basically for the complex, rather than just having these 90 degree walls, he's now got this 45 degree walls, so you can start angling it. I'm not sure if they're for sale yet.
they're about to go out.
Oh, they are about to go out. There you go.
They're about to go out
So
next week.
you know, there's things like that, and then, but then you can also make with those. You showed me a. There you go. So basically, you could put all of these 45 degrees. It makes this sort of like almost like a silo or a cylinder. It looks a bit like you can make it like a generator. You know, and you just think. So from something that was created to sort of make the complex a little bit more usable and having it at different angles, you then can make these sort of like silos or generators, and they're terrain pieces on their own, you know. And it's things like that. It's so modular. And remember, if you're buying the complex theme, that you're not stuck to a complex theme, because it then goes in with, it will go in with the factory theme, it will go in with the Havelock theme, the town theme, the battlefield theme, so they're all interlinkable. And also I'd just like to mention that the town walls are really good as well. I find them really useful. So the town walls are basically a thinner wall than the complex wall, and they're really good for making sort of like little complexes, little, you could
rooms,
yards, gardens,
yeah.
stuff like that. Really good. And I know you've got more ideas to add to the town wall. So it's a thing that's going to constantly grow. You're going to see constantly new things added to themes, at which you can then think and pick and choose and think, oh, I might add some of them to my battlefield. I might add some of them. So you can keep just adding things in, and you know, because it's all modular, you can just keep adding them on, and it's going to fit in with everything you've got.
Definitely, that's one of the most important things, is that when we design the product, we're designing it to have not a lifespan, so it will keep evolving. So when we bring out a new product, as long as you can paint it to the same scheme that you've already got, you can keep adding to your product. So you might initially spend out to get the core product there, but then every time you're buying an update, it's only a little bit, and then you're adding to it all the time. So, you know, you talk about a year down the line, all of a sudden you have this stuff that's nice and easy to pack away, that you can get out and you can create almost anything. So if you like doing your campaigns, then yeah, no, you can start off in an underground base, you can come up, you can, you know, the idea is to be able to fit every scenario.
Yeah, and I think if you can add those things in, like the things you can add in to it, they could be really small. It could be like a couple of doors you could add into the complex range, or you could buy a kill zone, because there's the kill zones that you have on the site, which are really good value, and a really good way to start getting into Mad Gaming Terrain is to buy one of the kill zones, which I believe there's a new one going up very soon.
Yeah, I think, yeah, on the kill zones, you're right. The kill zones is a great place to start, because they're all price point at about £50. We want to try and keep it relatively cheap. But we have got the bunker one, which is the new one that's going to come out, and that's coming out with the new products that we're releasing. So it's kind of here's the new products, but here's a decent way to get the products to form that kind of that scene that you want.
So we'll leave it there. Thank you very much, Andy, for having a chat with us and talking about Mad Gaming Terrain. As you can tell, I'm quite passionate about Mad Gaming Terrain. I do really like it, and I want to thank Andy for supporting the channel. He's really helped us, and hopefully we're going to grow and grow, and Mad Gaming Terrain and BFS Wargaming will grow together. Yeah, so thank you very much. Please like and subscribe for more videos on all things 40k, Kill Team, Apocalypse, and reviews on Mad Gaming Terrain. So thank you very much. Goodbye.